Hello and welcome. I'm Peggy. Thank you for letting us share a part of your day. And we have some good people for you to meet, and we're going to hear about a program called Latch. And we're going to visit with them in just a moment. But first of all, you know, I'm always talking to you about DUI, talking to your kids about safety and driving. Well, we have some clues here about things that you and I need to be aware of as pedestrians as well. So if they're ready with that, let's go with this little video.
A new study by Liberty Mutual Insurance shows that some cities do a much better job than others of keeping the growing number of pedestrians safe. While it's true that cities are accountable for ensuring that proper safety measures are in place, drivers and pedestrians also share in that important responsibility.
Well, pedestrian safety has always been an issue because we've all taught our children over the years to look both ways, left and right, before crossing. I think it's getting more attention now because of the onset of technology. More people are using technology, mobile phones, texting, and so forth, both driving and walking.
Melton says the drivers must always be vigilant, especially when there are pedestrians present.
Motorists can slow down. It's very critical that they slow down, very critical that they not be distracted, whether it be by technology or looking out the window or reading the newspaper. Don't be distracted when there are pedestrians around on the streets.
Melton says pedestrians should also refrain from doing things like texting, as no message is worth risking your life. To learn more about some of the safety measures that cities are using, go to libertymutual.com/pedestrian safety. This is Sandra Long reporting.
Well, welcome back, and I want to introduce Michael Burton, and he is the founder of something called Latch. And next to him is Yvonne Bowens, and she is the CFO. And this, I think you're very much involved with young people.
Yes, ma'am.
And God bless you for what you are doing. And we have a lot of information to share. I think the best thing to do is just to ask you, what is Latch?
Well, before I go into what is Latch,
Yeah.
first I want to thank you, Miss Peggy, for having Latch on your show today. Thank you so much. Even though the weather was bad,
Well, that's
we
all
fought
right.
through all that. And
We just have to keep going.
Yeah, we had to keep going.
And there are
Miss Peggy.
always things that people benefit from knowing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and
ma'am.
you're very much involved with young people.
Yes, ma'am. And Latch was started in '97.
Okay.
In Greenville. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And we started the program to give children that it was a void that we felt needed to be filled at a crucial time of the day, between the hours of 3 and 6, where most kids are getting in trouble, teenage pregnancy rate is up. So we felt by starting a Latchkey program, that gave them somewhere to go and some type of activity to be involved in. So that's how Latchkey came about.
And you have many young people over the course of a year.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It may be 1,000 or more children come through our program each year. And that's 1,000 kids that I feel like that we are saving. And we're not giving them the opportunity to fall through the cracks. We're exposing them to different things, different careers, different opportunities that they can go into.
Now, so this would be like an after school from like 3 o'clock until 6 or so.
Yes, ma'am. We have after school programs. We have pre-college enrollment programs. We offer workshops. We offer different type of activities just to get these children exposed. Because a lot of kids don't need after school programs, but they need to be exposed to different stuff and be educated on different things that they will have the opportunity to do in the future.
And this, if they didn't come to you, many of them would just be out on the street maybe,
I mean, we would
get in trouble.
We would have kids getting in trouble. We would have shoplifting at the Haywood Mall. We would have kids, high teenage pregnancy rate. If they didn't have programs like Latchkey and other after-school programs in Greenville County.
Now, is Latchkey just here, or are there other chapters of it in other parts of the country?
Actually, Latch is in 3 states: South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia.
In 3 states.
Yes,
Good for
ma'am.
you. All right. And Yvonne, how do you fit into all this?
My role as the CFO is basically I manage all the finance and making sure we have enough money to feed the children. I also assist Michael in anything that he needs to have done. We do travel a lot to each state to make sure everything's done because we are, the state requires certain things and guidelines that we must follow. So anything that really needs to be done, I'll give a helping hand.
That's wonderful. So you have a specific place that these kids come to,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
what?
We have an office at 5 Century Drive, right over by Mackey Mortuary.
Okay.
That's one of our locations. But we have several different locations, i.e. Apartment complexes. Apartment complexes have community rooms. We collaborate with them to use their community rooms.
Good for you.
We
So if these kids don't have transportation, they don't have to go across town to get to a certain building.
Right.
There's something where they are.
Miss Peggy, that's probably one of the children's #1 barrier is transportation.
Yeah.
So we eliminate that transportation problem by inserting programs inside of the complexes, because once the bus drops them off, they come into the facility, get the work they need, and then they walk home.
Good. So now, do you have any kind of program where you help with homework, for instance, or you said you have all kinds of things they can get involved in?
Yes, ma'am. We have after-school tutorial programs. We have pre-college enrollment programs. So we try to cover any area that a kid is lacking in.
Okay. And do you have any support from parents on this, or are these kids that would just be wandering around and have no parent in the home?
Well, we tried very hard to get the parents involved because if we instill something in the children at the program and then they go home, they're still exposed to the same situation, it's not going to change. So we involve the parents as much as possible so they can get the counseling that they need as well, so then the parents and the children both can work together to make a change.
Does this cost a child to come to your programs? Do they pay for this, or is it free?
Most of our programs, Miss Peggy, are free programs.
Okay.
Most of our programs. I like to say me and Miss Bowens, we are professional beggars. Because we're constantly begging corporate America for sponsorship, for scholarships, to different programs that we do have. Now, we do have some programs that absorb the cost, because we have to pay certain instructors to come in, certain materials that we need that to be able to provide these types of programs to the kids. But 90% of our programs are offered for free.
That's wonderful. And do you have to have the parents, like, permission for them to come, or how do you go about this? I mean, so that the parents know where they are.
Right. We go in. Mr. Burton and the other counselors that we have, they'll go into the people's homes, sit down with the parents, explain the program, how it works, and the parents have to agree to allow their child to participate.
Yeah, because you have to be mindful of that.
Because there's so much going on, you have to be
now,
very careful.
I didn't even think, but is this for boys and girls?
Well, it's for boys and girls, and the two unique things we have, and I hope we can elaborate.
This is your time. You tell us.
We have 2 programs. We have a program called Girls World, which is a mentoring and entrepreneurship program for girls 9 to 17. But our program, and I don't want to take away from the young ladies, but our program is our Man Up program. That's a program that's for our young men. They meet once a week at our main office. Man Up. And it's kind of like if you was an athlete, a female or a male, and it got tough times and it got hard, and your coach said, "Hey, it's time to man up. It's time to get tough." So the name speaks for itself, and it's a program, like I said, for boys 9 to 17, but they are not all in the same group. They are placed age-wise. So you have your 9 to 12 in groups and your 13 to 17 in groups. Your 9 to 12 is called the gifted kids, team gifted. Because if a kid keeps hearing that I'm gifted, that I'm gifted, that I'm gifted, he'll start looking at himself as being gifted. Because you can tell a kid, you're not going to be nothing, you're not going to be anything, he'll start believing it. And then we have the 13 to 17-year-olds, that's the eagle club. Because a lot of times we look at, you know, that mindset of that eagle and that chicken. If that eagle flies above, and that's the kind of boys that we are raising now, boys that fly above the clouds, that stay away from, and I say the chickens is stay away from the trouble.
Yeah.
The trouble that you can easily get into, we're getting them above the clouds so they can see stuff on a whole different level.
So you encourage these kids to study, to stay in school, and to aspire for an education.
And to make the right decisions. Because that's the key, Miss Peggy. If we show them, we are showing them how to make the right decisions. Because you could be the perfect child, but you make that wrong decision, and your life can change overnight. So that's the key component, is the decision-making piece of the program. So, and we also teach leadership development and character development. Because if you got good character, you can go a long way in life.
That's a very wonderful statement.
As well as doing, teaching them about finances too, teaching them how to manage their finances. You know, instead of getting all these credit cards, but if you do have the credit cards, how to manage it.
Yeah,
how to
you're
make
still
sure
gonna
you're
get a
paying it
bill.
on time. Correct. You know, make sure you pay your bill and how to build your credit up. So we have a lot of different programs, as you know, to instill in the children to help them along the way.
Now, we have some phone numbers, and I'm assuming that they will put those on, and I'll keep them here if you didn't get them. But we're going to come back, and because there's a lot more to tell. And this is a much needed program for these kids that otherwise could have a devastation in their lives. Correct. And many times they come from homes where there is no guidance, there is no support system. Right. And so you're providing something special. We'll be right back.